Welcome back, everyone. Today wraps up the final day of the 4-week fat loss blitz, part 2, if I'm not mistaken. And I made certain tweaks that I think had profound effects on the end result in a very positive way. And I'd like to share that with you today. And that's kind of the whole purpose of these videos is I try to document to the best of my ability what all I'm tweaking and adjusting, whether it's for adding muscle, losing fat, getting stronger, whatever it may be. I'm trying to document it so that you guys can walk away with something. You can have some extra tool in your toolbox so that if progress stalls or not making the gains that you want, you can take something from these videos and apply them to your training and hopefully get a positive result out of it. So that's the main goal. I hope there's some sort of utility out of this. And so without further ado, let's get into it. So let's get the most important part of the entire training cycle out of the way, and that is diet. Diet makes up 80% of your final result. I'm just now starting to realize that as the more I've made diet a priority, the better the results have been. Also realized how many years I've wasted by not prioritizing it as much as I should have. That being said, one of the main tweaks that I made that I think made a world of difference was buying a food scale. I quickly realized that I was not very good at eyeballing things, and I would typically be off by 200, 300 calories on the best of days, and sometimes more. So it explains why on bulks I would gain too much weight, and then on cuts I wouldn't lose enough weight. So that was actually a pretty important tweak I made, and I plan to continue using it in the foreseeable future, at least until I get better at just judging things off the hip, But that being said, I decided to set my calories at 2,100 a day, which is extremely steep for someone my size and activity level. But my main goal was to lose fat as fast as possible. I only had 4 weeks, and I found ways to circumvent this. And one of them was keeping carbs as high as possible. And to do so, I had to choose the minimum effective dose for protein, which turns out to be about 0.83 grams per pound of body weight. This shows the most protective mechanisms for preserving muscle. And I kept fat as low as possible while maintaining a somewhat healthy body. It turns out that's around 50 grams, and the rest I filled in with carbs, which came out to be about 220 grams of carbs per day. This made an enormous difference in my ability to recover not only between sets, but also between workouts. It also preserves strength much better, which I think if you're cutting to this degree, that's really important because you need to encourage your body to hold on to the muscle that you've built and not waste away. The other thing is carbs are so important for minimizing cortisol. And if you don't know, there is a master hormone that produces testosterone and cortisol. And if you're a natural, it's like you really don't want to overproduce cortisol because more cortisol means less testosterone. If you're on the sauce, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you're like me, it's like, well, you kind of need that. You're less anabolic and you're more at risk for losing muscle. So carbs are definitely helpful in that sense. And the other thing is they allow you to sleep better, which that's one of the things you watched my other video I had problems with. I started waking up way too early, just couldn't get a full night's rest. So definitely going to be continuing. If I ever do another fat loss blitz again, carbs are going to be an absolute staple. So now that we've got diet out of the way, let's move on to my favorite part, the lifting. I chose a few key lifts that I wanted to progress on. Those included the handstand push-up, the low incline bench, sternum pull-ups, and reverse lunges. For handstand push-ups, I started off by being able to do 2 sets of 6 and 1 set of 5. In the end, I was able to do 3 sets of 8 pretty easily, if I do say so myself. The next lift was the low incline guillotine bench. When I started off, I was able to do 205 for 8, 185 for 10, and 165 for 12. In the end, I was able to do 255 for 8, 230 for 10, and 215 for 11. This one blew me away. I was so stoked that I was able to hit these lifts. I think I actually, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back, but I think I actually beat my flat guillotine press on the incline, which is just unbelievable. So really happy. It's actually made my chest way better, and we'll see in the measurements soon what I'm talking about. The next one was the sternum pull-up. With this, I was able to do 3 sets of 8 in the beginning. And the goal was actually to hit 3 sets of 10. I didn't have high hopes. And then I blew the doors off of everything and managed to do weighted sternum pull-ups, an extra 20 pounds around my back, and do 3 sets of 8 pretty easily. Again, I think I could have done more. And the last exercise, this is inspired by ever ascending syndrome. Love you, brother. Huge inspiration. The reverse lunge. My God. When I started off, I was able to do 225 for 17. That was kind of my best. And to finish off, I was able to do 280 for a set of 10. This one was pretty brutal. And I actually accredit a lot of the gains on that lift, all the stair climbing I did for conditioning. At my apartment, there's 26 floors. I did the math. It's 1,092 steps down and back. So you can imagine lunging and climbing those stairs multiple times per week for multiple rounds would definitely build up some kind of stamina and strengthen your legs. And I hate to use this word, but it did kind of like tone up my legs. My my fiance has given me numerous compliments on my legs. So, I'm not complaining. Pretty happy. I'm definitely seeing more cuts there. And they didn't make my upper legs much bigger. I mean, they made my calves bigger, but I actually can fit in jeans a lot better. So I'm really happy about that. So that being said, let's get into measurements. I guess that's the kind of final product of all this. And when I started off, I was 230 pounds. I managed to cut down to 219. So this is about a 2.75 pound decrease in weight per week. This is not entirely fat. I do think some of it was glycogen. Even though I kept carbs high, with the activity I was doing, I had to burn through some of it. So I couldn't 100% replenish glycogen every session. So over time, it kind of ate away. So that being said, I did lose a substantial amount of fat, as you can see in the measurements. Based on when I started, my neck remained the same at 18 inches. Chest went up by 0.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. I credit this to getting stronger on the incline bench and getting stronger at sternum pull-ups. Shoulders remained the exact same. Kind of a bummer, because one of the things I did was daily morning sessions of shoulder and ab circuits, and I did a lot of work on those, and I thought my shoulders would actually grow. It appears they didn't, but maybe with time they'll super compensate and get bigger. Kind of my hope. Bigger shoulders are never a bad thing. They're definitely stronger. I will say this, like in this clip that you see right here, I'm doing lateral raises with 45-pound plates. I don't think I could do that in the beginning, believe it or not. So I know I sometimes get a little bit of shit for the lightweight, lateral raises and stuff like that, but I'm actually way stronger now since I've been doing those. Like the mind-muscle connection is huge. So take that with what you will, right? Another thing I want to talk about is the arms. The arms remained the exact same. They didn't change, which, I thought the Psuedo Hefesto curls would pump them up a little bit more. They feel denser, like they feel harder, but they're just not bigger measurement-wise. So I'm happy with the shape. They feel hard and dense, and I'm happy with that. Forearms remain the exact same, and thighs actually shrunk. And this might seem like a bad thing, but it's good for me because I can fit in jeans. I think it looks more aesthetic. So that's the one major area I lost weight. The other one is obviously my waist. I think I lost 1.5 inches. You'll see in the description box. I'll put the actual data there. So I definitely lost fat around the midsection. You can probably see it in the thumbnail. And thighs. And this is where my thighs are where I carry most of my body fat. I'm kind of bottom heavy, so that's why I can stay lean even at high weights on my upper body. It's just because when I gain weight, most of it goes into my thighs and ass, so little thickums, I guess. The other thing I'm really happy about is my calves increased by 0.25 inches. So, beach weather's coming up relatively soon, so I can't wait to start rocking these tiny little calves, So happy about that. As far as body fat estimations, I have no idea. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just happy with the way I look in the mirror, and that's, at the end of the day, all that's important. You guys can feel free to speculate in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm going to kind of guess, put myself out there, and say it's maybe around 10%, something like that. So I'm happy with that. I don't think it's 9%, like I said in my past video. Whoever, I think it was Kintara or something like that, called me out for it. And fair enough, I didn't reach it. But, you know, I'm happy with what I got. So that about sums everything up. I hope you found some of these things useful and you can apply them in your training, whatever cycle or phase you're in at the moment. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Please also comment if you feel like you want to share something. Other than that, about wraps it up. And next video, we'll be moving on to a long-term bulking plan. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be absolute uber-goodles of volume, radical diet change. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to pack on unbelievable amounts of mass. That's the main goal. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.